I'm committed to that process of walking through with Jenny, the boys, with the Tom Davises of the world, with the people of South Carolina, in saying, where do we go from here? I would simply say I go back to that simple word of asking for forgiveness. Just as a declarative statement, one more before we open up for a couple of questions, and then I'll move on. I've tried to think of, first step. One of the first steps is clearing out more time as we go through this process of reconciliation and figuring out what comes next. I'm going to resign as chairman of the Republican Governors Association. I'm going to tender my resignation. One, because I think it's the appropriate thing to do, given other governors across this nation, and my role as chairman of the RGA. And two, frankly, just from the standpoint of time. If I think about this process, not only does it begin at a family level, it begins with the family of South Carolinians. And so that means me going one by one and town by town to talk to a lot of old friends across the state in what I've done and indeed asking for their forgiveness. That'll take time that I probably can't devote to the RGA. Questions?
Governor, what happens the next 2 weeks?
I'm sorry.
Trying to reconcile with Jenny?
I am. Yeah.
Are you separated?
You're not separated?
What's that?
Are you separated from the First Lady?
I don't know how you want to define that. I mean, I'm here and she's there. I guess in a formal sense we're not, but what we're trying to do is work through something that we've been working through for a number of months now.
Did your wife and your family know about the affair before the trip to Argentina?
Yeah.
Are you
We've been working through this thing for about the last 5 months. I've been to a lot of different. I was part of a group called C Street when I was in Washington. It was believe it or not, a Christian Bible study of some folks that asked if members of Congress hard questions that I think were very, very important. And I've been working with them. I see Cubby Culbertson in the back of the room. I would consider him a spiritual giant. And hang on. And an incredibly dear friend. And he has been helping us work through this over these last 5 months. And Cubby, I want to say thank you for being there as a friend.
Was this the first and only time you've been unfaithful? Is this the first and only time you've been unfaithful?
No. What's that?
Is this the first and
Yes.
only time you've been unfaithful?
Yes.
Were you alone in
Did you break off the relationship?
Obviously not. What's that?
Were you alone?
Obviously not.
Did you break off the
What's
relationship?
that? No, it was interesting in how this thing has gone down, John. To give you way more detail than you'll ever want, I met this person a little over 8 years ago. Again, very innocently, and struck up a conversation. And I don't want to go back to the bubble of politics. This is not justifying, because again, what I did was wrong. Period. End of story. Okay, wait. No, I didn't. My own ticket. Wait, guys. One question at a time. Is that fair enough? And there's a certain irony to this. But this person at the time was separated, and we ended up in this incredibly serious conversation about why she ought to get back with her husband for the sake of her 2 boys. That not only was it part of God's law, but ultimately those 2 boys would be better off for it. And we had this incredibly earnest conversation, and at the end of it, said, could I get your email? We swap emails, whatever. And it began just on a very casual basis. Hey, I got this issue that's come up with my life, or vice versa. What do you think? Because when you live in the zone of politics, you can't ever let your guard down. You can't ever say, hey, what do you think, or what do you think, because it could be a front page story or this story or that story. And so there was this zone of protectedness in that she lives thousands of miles away, and I was up here, and you could throw an idea out or vice versa. And we developed a remarkable friendship over those 8 years. And then, as I said, about a year ago, it sparked into something more than that. I have seen her 3 times since then during that whole sparking thing. And it was discovered, let me finish, 5 months ago. And at that point, we went into serious overdrive in trying to say, where do you go from here? And that's where the Cubby Culbertsons and the others of the world begin to help with, how do you get all this right? How do you, again, be honest? And so it had been back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And the one thing that you really find is that you absolutely want resolution. And so oddly enough, I spent the last 5 days of my life crying in Argentina, so I could repeat it when I came back here, in saying, while indeed from a heart level there was something real, it was a place based on the fiduciary relationship I had to the people of South Carolina, based on my boys, based on my wife, based on where I was in life, based on where she was in life, a place I couldn't go and she couldn't go. And that is I suspect, a continual process all through life of getting one's heart right in life. And so I would never stand before you as one who just says, I'm completely right with regard to my heart on all things. But what I would say is I'm committed to trying to get my heart right, because the one thing that Cubby and all others have told me is that the odyssey that we're all on in life is with regard to heart. Not what I want or what you want, but in other words, indeed this larger notion of truly trying to put other people first. And I suspect if I'd really put this other person first, I wouldn't have jeopardized her life as I have. I certainly wouldn't have done it to my wife. I wouldn't have done it to my boys. I wouldn't have done it to the Tom Davises of the world. This was selfishness on my part, and for that I'm most apologetic.
What is this? Didn't your choice to go down there for Father's Day?
Wait.
Wasn't that
What's
a
that?
choice then?
Last question over there.
Was this the only time you've captured Argentina?
Yes.
Did you intentionally mislead your staff about hiking the trail? Did you intentionally mislead your staff
Did you
about where
talk
you
to them
were?
at any point when you were in Argentina, your staff?
Yeah, in other words, they called. I called them back on Monday.
But when you left, did you intentionally?
No. We talked about that. In other words, let me be clear. I said that was original possibility. That again, that is my fault in shrouding this larger trip. That's my fault. That's my fault.
Did you tell your staff to tell the press that you were hiking the Appalachian Trail?
I didn't tell them. I just said, hey, guys, this is where I think I'm going to go. So, in other words, they would have deducted from that.
Argentina, you obviously had talks. Did you tell Joe Sawyer?
No. I didn't. In other words, no. They went on the original information that I'd given Mary Neal, who handles the schedule for us. Yeah, last question.
Governor,
I tell you what.
going there on Father's Day weekend.
Yeah, right.
Choice about
Okay,
your
what's
life.
that? Okay, yeah.
Do you have any other state employees to cover up this affair for you?
No,
You still have to
absolutely
trust the
not.
state.
Did you ask your staff to
Yeah.
cover up the affair?
No, absolutely.
Your reaction to those in your party and your lieutenant governor that call this irresponsible and are disappointed in your decision to do this?
At this point, it would be obvious that they and others would be disappointed, and that I've disappointed them and others.
Why did you
And
choose?
so, okay, all right.
Will you resign as governor?